Disclaimer: the following narrative is based on open source reports and public claims.
The disappearance of Ukraine's Su-27UB has reignited debates about the safety of Ukrainian pilots and the increasing power of Russia's air defense network. The aircraft reportedly vanished during a high-risk combat mission, leaving behind more questions than answers. Ukraine did not provide clear details, only confirming the loss of the jet and the death of its navigator. This silence has opened the door to speculation, especially since the jet's last known position aligns with areas covered by Russian long-range air defense systems. As observers try to piece together what happened, the Su-27UB's disappearance quickly became a symbol of the rising danger in Ukraine's skies. Ukraine's Air Force often avoids releasing full details when aircraft are lost in combat, partly to protect morale and partly due to operational secrecy. In this case, their vague statement only fueled more speculation. There was no mention of mechanical failure, no clear indication of the mission objective, and no explanation of why contact with the jet was suddenly lost. But independent trackers noticed something important. The jet disappeared right as it entered a region known to be monitored by Russian S-400 systems. Analysts began questioning whether the Air Force was withholding the real cause, because the truth pointed to a successful long-range Russian interception. To understand why the S-400 is at the center of speculation, you have to understand what this system represents. The S-400 is Russia's most advanced long-range surface-to-air missile platform, capable of tracking multiple targets and striking them at extreme ranges. Its radar network is powerful, precise, and deeply integrated with other Russian sensors. This makes it nearly impossible for older jets like the Su-27UB to remain hidden. If the Ukrainian aircraft climbed for even a moment or deviated from low-altitude flight, the S-400 could easily achieve a lock. Its capability and range make it one of Ukraine's most feared airborne threats. The Su-27UB wasn't just another aircraft. It was one of Ukraine's few remaining twin-seat platforms used for advanced training and complex combat missions. The loss of this jet hits the Air Force hard, especially with Ukraine struggling to train new pilots for incoming F-16. The Su-27UB was essential for building the next generation of fighter crews. Without aircraft like this, the pipeline for preparing Ukrainian pilots becomes even thinner. Morocco, Indonesia, and other Su-27 operators had already retired similar jets, leaving Ukraine with one of the last operational fleets in the world, a shrinking fleet now weakened again by this incident. Several factors make an S-400 strike a credible scenario. If the Su-27UB entered a region covered by the system's radar network, it would be detected from long distance. Even flying low is no longer enough to guarantee safety. The S-400's supporting radars can identify low-altitude targets by combining data from multiple stations. Once locked, the system can launch hypersonic missiles that reach their targets within seconds. According to experts who studied past engagements, Ukrainian pilots often have almost no time to react when an S-400 missile is fired. The Su-27UB may have been hit before its crew even realized they were tracked. Local witnesses reported hearing an explosion high in the sky, but said they never saw the aircraft flying overhead. This kind of testimony aligns with what happens when a long-range missile strikes an aircraft at altitude. Debris may fall over a wide area, leaving no large wreckage easily visible from the ground. Some unverified images circulated on social media, but none were confirmed by officials. What is known is that the navigator did not survive, and the Ukrainian military avoided discussing the details. This combination of eyewitness accounts and official silence strengthens the belief that the jets suffered a sudden airborne destruction. Ukraine now faces a painful contradiction. It must fly missions to support troops and strike Russian positions, but every flight risks entering Russia's expanding S-400 zones. Western aircraft are still arriving slowly, and Ukraine lacks enough pilots and spare parts to maintain round-the-clock operations. Older jets like the Su-27 were never designed to survive in environments saturated with modern air defense systems. Continuing to fly them is necessary but extremely dangerous. The Air Force must choose between preserving its limited fleet and executing missions that could make a difference at the front line. This isn't the first time Ukraine has lost jets under mysterious circumstances. Several earlier Su-27s, MiG-29s, and Su-25s vanished or crashed in regions within S-300 and S-400 coverage zones. Although Ukraine rarely confirms the exact cause, analysts consistently identify patterns pointing to long-range missile engagements. Russia doesn't always claim these kills, but their expanding air defense footprint speaks for itself. With each new suspected S-400 strike, Ukraine's air capabilities shrink further. The disappearance of the Su-27UB adds to this dangerous trend and raises serious questions about the sustainability of Ukraine's air operations. Whether the Su-27UB was definitively downed by an S-400 may remain unconfirmed, but the circumstantial evidence strongly suggests it. The flight path, the location, the altitude, the sudden loss of contact, and the lack of mechanical failure reports all point toward a long-range interception. If so, it underscores a sobering reality. Ukraine is fighting an air war against a technologically superior defense network. The skies are now one of the most unforgiving parts of the battlefield. As Ukraine waits for more Western jets and tries to keep its remaining aircraft in the air, incidents like this may only become more frequent.